Hi, it's David Pryor again from Priority Funding and Forward Funding. Last week we started a series on talking with accountants and their clients regarding different funding facilities that we can help with business. Last week we just specifically discussed debt consolidation. This week we're going to talk about equipment finance. So let's get into that today. Equipment finance, we can finance any equipment from, say, $5,000 up to several million dollars, obviously depending on the credit worthiness of the client and the type of equipment they're purchasing. So one of the major areas that we help businesses out with at the moment is what we call low doc or light doc facilities. And effectively, if you think I want to buy equipment, any equipment, say up to $250,000, then we usually do not require financials up until that amount. Very, very strange when you look at it as how can they do this without financials? But essentially, if you meet a certain set of criteria, then for a lot of equipment, we do not need any further data. So let's have a look at that criteria. First of all, a funder would like to see someone who's been in business for a minimum of 2 years registered for GST. So that we look at the ABN, we look at the GST status, and we see that there's 2 years in business. Tick. Okay. If you have been in business less than this time, then obviously there are other contingencies we can work on. We might ask a little bit more data, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Secondly, the funder will look at the credit worthiness of the client. So we've all heard of Vita or Equifax. These are the credit scoring agencies that the funders will look at to see what your conduct with borrowing has been, whether you make your payments, whether you have defaults or judgments, or whether you're a good, strong client without too much borrowing and have a good, strong business moving forward. So they look at a credit score for the business and for the individuals. Anything above 600 to 650 is viewed as acceptable. If you're well above that, fantastic. If you're a little bit below that, there may be some reasons why. If you're way below that, then we need to find out contingencies for that as well. The third section that we need to look at then is, are you a property owner? If you are a property owner, then they don't take equity in your property. They don't take a charge over your property in most cases. What they do is they view you as more stable than, say, someone who's renting their property, because a property owner is less likely to disappear if they're not making their payments, because they obviously have a property that they want to retain. It's a perception. It's not always the truth. And many people that I know who are renters are fantastic character people as well. So they look at whether you're a property owner. So you can probably borrow up to $250,000 without financials if you're a property owner, and let's say $150,000 without financials for a renter who's someone who's not a property owner. Now, obviously, some of these things are the set rule. Lenders have the capacity to look outside these. One of the areas that's coming into vogue now is that funders are often asking for the last 6 months bank statements on the business, so they can see if you're actually paying your bills on time, if you're overdrawn on your account, have you left some money in the account, are you spending the money wisely, all those sorts of things. So it's another area that does get asked from time to time. We've done many transactions where there's multiple pieces of equipment that are being funded, and we've actually placed one piece with one funder for 100,000, and another piece with another funder for another 100, 150,000, whatever it may be. We help you to get the best out of what you're facilitating for your business. Now, obviously, the rates are generally slightly higher for this low doc type of methodology, because most of us like to keep as much funding or profit within the business, and we like to utilize the advantages that we can have within the business tax-wise. So not declaring too high an income, having those expenses, all those sort of things, as long as you're doing it legitimately, are all very, very valid, and they allow a business to best maximize its business moving forward. Again, accountants are fantastic at doing this for you. Okay, so once you've looked at the low doc facilities, then you start looking at the full doc or more information, and that more information will include showing the last couple of years' financials, showing the serviceability, showing the tax portal. So that's both the integrated tax portal, so it's showing the PAYG as well as the GST. If you're doing a larger amount of transactions and you have many leases, then the funder may ask what we call a schedule of commitments. And that schedule of commitments shows what current funders you're using, how much you're paying per month, and for what. And then they can go back and see, are you making these payments on time? It's all about showing the character and the ability to service this loan. So as I mentioned earlier, we can fund anything from the small $5,000 transaction up to millions of dollars of transactions. We can split the transactions into multiple lending profiles if we need to. We also have a facility where we can actually raise capital, as I mentioned in the last video, against equipment. Now that usually means you're showing bank statements simply to show that you have the capacity to repay. Okay, so equipment can be anything from your wheels-based, your cars, your trucks, through to any industrial equipment, through to any equipment that your business needs for it to operate. I've done caravans for people who are going remote and traveling remote instead of paying for hotels, all those sort of things. I've done multi-million-dollar transactions for major agricultural equipment. All those sorts of things. There's many, many ways to fund transactions. Simply asking us how is the most important thing to do. So accountants and clients, we look forward to helping you with your equipment. That'll be enough for today's video. Next week's one will be on unsecured loans and other facilities. Look forward to speaking to you then.